Hey everybody!
Oh boy.
I am finally back with another recipe video.
Okay, let's take a look.
I'm sure any of you who have actually seen it will remember the absolute mess that I managed to make in my Shadow the Hedgehog food video.
Oh my god.
Where I made Doomwing burgers and Shadow's Chaos Cola. The Chaos Cola went everywhere. It was a bit of a disaster.
Oh my, oh.
It took several days to make everything rather than just the one night that I was hoping. And then it also took me even longer to get everything edited. Hopefully things will go a bit smoother this time. Yeah, today I will be making Sonic's Chaos Cola, which will be a blueberry and ginger pop, and Sonic's Blue Blair chili dogs. For Sonic's Chaos Cola, fill up a large saucepan with 2 cups of water. Hey everybody, it's Editing Loki here. I got the recipe wrong. It's only supposed to be 1 cup of water. I don't know why I thought it was 2, and I think I might have accidentally used 3 instead in this recipe, so yeah, please don't make the same mistake I did. Only use 1 cup of water for making this recipe. I can't actually find my measuring cups, so I'm just having to use a mug cup that is roughly the size of a cup and just guesstimate from there. 1 cup of golden caster sugar and 2 cups of white caster sugar. Turn on to a high heat and then add 2 cups of blueberries. Fresh ones are better, but I only had access to frozen ones, so those are the ones that I used. Next, you'll want about 2 tablespoons worth of fresh ginger chopped into fine pieces. If you don't like ginger as much as I do though, you can do just 1 tablespoon and it'll be fine. Next, add a small handful of cardamom pods. These ones are quite small, so I used 5 of them. As my blueberries defrosted and started to cook, I started trying to squish them up against the side so they would release a lot of their flavour and their juices. You'd probably be better off using a potato masher to do this, rather than using a spoon like I awkwardly did. Once the mixture is boiling like this, you want to turn it down to a medium heat. I just realised that I completely forgot to add the cinnamon, so you can add the cinnamon stick here, but after turning down the temperature, what you want to do is let it cook away for 10 minutes. You don't want it to be boiling, you just want it to simmer. Remove the mixture from the heat and add half a teaspoon of citric acid. This will make it taste more like actual fruit rather than over sweet. Mix it well and then leave it for a few minutes to cool down. You don't want to break the glass bottle you want to put this into. I tried to add some blue food colouring to this, but I don't know why, it just did not want to mix with this syrup. I don't normally have this kind of problem when I make syrup. I usually manage to dye it pretty easily, but this one did not want to play ball. But if you want to give it a try, I would highly recommend using a liquid rather than a gel-based food colouring. Word of warning, you will need a bigger jar than what I used, and you'd think that after the last time making a mess trying to make Chaos Cola I would have learned. Unfortunately, I didn't. Oh shit. Oh dear. I am making a mess. So much for making less of a mess this time round. I made too much. For the Blue Blair chili, start by heating up some oil or whatever you want to use to fry your onions in. I only had access to fry light unfortunately, so I just poured a little bit in the bottom of the pan. Using some finely chopped fresh onion is best, but I wasn't feeling comfortable using a sharp knife because chronic illness, so I used frozen this time around. For anyone who doesn't actually know what I mean, I have multiple chronic illnesses, and one of the symptoms of my many disorders is I get really bad muscle spasms, which can make using sharp knives a bit too dangerous sometimes. So I have stuff like this in the freezer so I can still cook for myself even if I'm having a day where using sharp objects is out of the question. Fry up your onions however you like them. I like mine done quite well before I add other things into it, but if you're someone who is fine with crunchier, less well-cooked onions, then you do you, and then just add as much garlic as you want. I know a lot of people are going to think that this is too much garlic, but I love my stuff really garlicky. When you think you're about halfway done with cooking your onions, add however much you like of chipotle chili flakes. I know not everyone can handle as much as me, but I'm adding just a couple of handfuls here. Some bird's eye chili flakes as well. A couple of bay leaves. Moving it around a little bit so I don't accidentally burn it, because I have spent way too long putting herbs and stuff in before and burnt the daylights out of my onions way too many times. Some green chilies. I meant to defrost them so I could cut them up, but I forgot to, so I'm just snapping them into pieces. And fry it all up until you're happy with your onions. Next up, add the chicken mince. I used about 400 grams of chicken mince in this recipe. You can use any sort of meat that you want to, really. It doesn't have to be chicken. I just used chicken because it would interfere the least with the food colouring that I wanted to use for this recipe. And yes, I am really struggling with the paper at the bottom of this packaging. When the chicken is partway cooked, add in some finely chopped ginger. I meant to do this earlier actually, but it's fine to do it at this point as well. Next, add some flour to help thicken it up. I find that adding 2 tablespoons to the recipe really helps, and mixing it into the mince just helps it distribute properly without having to make a roux. Next up, you want to add some cannellini beans. I couldn't find mine at first, so I ended up going with chickpeas instead, and they do work well in this recipe, but it wasn't really what I was planning. I accidentally added a little bit too much water here. You really want just under a cup's worth, not the amount that I added. And next, add a chicken stock pot, or if you want, you could just use some chicken broth if you've already got some of that, instead of water. And also up next, the food colouring. And yeah. Oops. I used way too much of the blue food colouring. Well, it's definitely gonna be blue. Oh dear. This might have worked a little too well. That was 2/3 of the entire bottle that I accidentally dumped in there. I realised that I had forgotten to buy cream. That's what I was meant to be using here. Just use a couple of tablespoons. I ended up having to use some milk instead. And I added a little bit of tomato paste for some extra flavour. And I ended up deciding to add a little bit of cayenne pepper because I absolutely love the taste of it. Okay, maybe a lot of cayenne pepper. I then decided to use up what was left of this jar of jalapenos because I love these as well. They are delicious.
You'll see what I mean when you see the color. Oh boy. Okay. Let's take a look. Oh yeah, it's coming together. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's very blue. Oh my, oh. Oh, wow. This is very blue.
Oh, stinky cheese!
Oh my gosh, don't put that around here. You sure
Accidentally
smell.
dropped
Oh
the
my gosh.
entire bottle of gel in there. Oh my god. That's gonna like paint your insides. You know that, right? Oh no. That looks like chaos, dude. That literally looks like chaos. That is so cursed. It's so cursed. I'm eating it. Good luck. I'm just saying, everything is going to be blue. Everything.
She'll just want to cook the hot dogs according to however it says to do so on the packaging. I ended up baking mine in the oven for about 15 minutes. I also baked up some onion rings from frozen. I really could not be bothered to cook them from scratch this time. That was a lot of work and I did not have that much energy for this time round. After everything was done cooking in the oven, I left the buns in there to warm through for 4 minutes before I started plating up. And as you might have noticed, I decided to paint the hot dog buns gold to match the rings. Honestly, I wish that the lighting in my kitchen did these justice because they looked so cool, but the camera and the lighting in this room just doesn't represent it very well. And then simply top the chili dogs off with the blue blur chili. Unfortunately, in this lighting, it's looking a little more green than blue. And there you have it, Sonic's Blue Blur Chili Dogs. Hopefully I can do this recipe again and they will look a lot better. They look more decent and more blue with the flash on my phone for some reason. Okay, so I'm finally done. I just wanted to, before I sit down and eat with my fiance, I wanted to go ahead and actually try on camera rather than awkwardly sitting on the bed like I did the last time. So here's the drink. Adding blue food dye didn't do anything. My partner already drank this and said that he thought it was really good, so I'm gonna see. I quite like that. I'm not sure how the blueberry was going to come out because I'm very iffy with blueberry flavored things, but the blueberry and the ginger go really well together. I have a feeling that Max is going to be drinking more of this one than me, but that makes it a change because normally when I make the Nuka-Cola syrup, which is the one I make more often, I will be the only one to down most of it, and then by the time he decides he wants to have some, it's pretty much gone. And this monstrosity. I'm gonna have to ask Vinny, who's a streamer that I watch. He ended up reacting to seeing this blue stuff on his stream. I'm gonna have to ask if I can use that clip. He always says yes, so I don't know why I'm saying I'll have to ask, but I do feel like I really should ask. I'm gonna take a bite out of this. Hot. Very hot. So I feel like the shape of the buns was a mistake. I went with ones that were split at the side and were a bit smaller. I didn't realise the size of the hot dogs. Because I got the New York style hot dogs from Asda, and those are on the more expensive side than what I'd normally get, and they're a lot bigger than the sausages I typically use when I make hot dogs. Not that I make hot dogs very often. I'm someone that really needs to be in the mood for hot dogs if I'm gonna have them, which is not very often. I only have hot dogs like 2 or 3 times in a year. Either way, that is really good. I was worried that it wasn't gonna be spicy enough. I feel like I could have done with adding a bit of honey, just to add a little bit of sweetness to it. But at least it's actually got some flavour, because for a minute there, I only used like 1 stock pot, and it was not enough to make it taste of much. So I added another stock pot and added some salt and a little bit of maple syrup, and that did help. But I feel like I really should have done with adding some honey in it and just making that part of the actual recipe. So if you're making this, add in a couple of tablespoons of honey to the recipe and that should make it come out a lot more flavorful. And don't be stingy with the stock, the chicken stock like I was. Really happy with how that came out. It was a lot less mess and effort than the Doom Wing burger. I do want to redo the Doom Wing burger recipe eventually, but I think that I need to reconsider some of like the like ingredients that I used and maybe simplify the burger a little bit, because it tasted awesome but some of the flavors got like buried under each other and it wasn't as good as I think as it could have been. I will also not be overcomplicating it by insisting on making homemade onion rings again. I made frozen ones this time around because making them from scratch, they tasted awesome. I loved them, but oh my god, they took so much effort and so much time, and it just made an already complicated burger recipe even harder to do. So I learned my lesson this time around. I'm gonna go and eat. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope that if you try this that you enjoy it too. And I'll see you next time. Good night, beautiful nerds. Hey everybody, I finally cleaned up my kitchen enough to actually make another cooking video. So I immediately forget what I was gonna say. Great, Loki, yeah. This is going to be Sonic's Chaos Cola, which is going to be a blueberry ginger soda. And I've been talking to my American friends way too often and called it soda. Pop. It's called Pop. Yeah, this is going to be Sonic's Blue Blair Chili Jugs. Chili Jugs? Fuck. I wonder if the camera will have picked that up because I heard that laugh, honey. Before you get rid of that, could you fill up my bottle of water and pass it to me, please? Yeah, sure, hold on.